Well, bagosh and begorra to you all. Special Aztecs All In brownie points if you can identify the original source of that salutation. But as usual, I digress. Welcome once again to another edition of Aztecs All In, where we are all in on San Diego State University Aztecs athletics, no matter what the sport of endeavor happens to be. I'm Steve Perez with Louis Weiner, two young at heart Aztec alums with nothing better to do than to sit around the house podcasting for you. And here's what's going to happen when we decide to cut loose this week on episode 8, the Ocho. We'll have what we have on the latest on the SDSU realignment process. Are we still friends with the Mountain West Conference? Well, are we? We'll have the results of an exclusive Aztecs All In Twitter poll. Also, speaking of the MWC, it's the annual Football Media Days in Las Vegas. We will take an advanced look. And then a longtime Aztecs baseball coach calls it a career, and an update on Aztecs in the MLB draft. Then, too, it's this year's final chance for all-time glory in the sport of golf. We will run down the prospects of noted Aztecs alum Xander Schauffele, and then finally, a follow-up on a story from the voluminous Aztecs, did I say that right? The voluminous Aztecs All In archives. So, Louis, get us back up to speed on the process of conference realignment.
Hello, Steve, and we are all in on realignment. When we last left you, the Aztecs were in the Mountain West or were not in the Mountain West. The Monday meeting that the executive committee meeting that the Mountain West Conference was scheduled to hold, the assumption is that that meeting took place, but it appears they've gone radio silent. So just catching you up, you remember about a month back, the Aztecs sent a letter to the Mountain West Conference saying they intended to resign, and the Mountain West took that as a resignation, and the Aztecs said, no, we're not resigning, and the Mountain West said, yes, you are resigning. And then there was the June 30th deadline that the Aztecs had to let the Mountain West know if they wanted to leave the conference by 2024 in order to join another conference with a $17 million exit fee. Well, the Aztecs sent that letter reportedly saying they were going to stay in the conference, and that's where we are. This July 17th meeting, executive committee meeting by the Mountain West Conference, in which they were going to discuss the Aztecs without a delegatory present, because technically they say the Aztecs are not in the conference at this moment, so she was not a part of that. So that's where we are. Radio silence, no reports as to what has happened during that meeting, and we're sort of left in the lurch, Steve.
Well, we have written to the Office of the President and their official media representatives to ask that we be informed, and have heard nothing as of this recordings, but I'm sure something will leak out from somewhere. But maybe the fact that nothing is getting out is a good thing. What do you think?
I think so. I think what happened with all the letters that were made public, or leaked, I should say, I think this executive committee meeting, they went and said, hey, keep quiet, okay? We'll announce this when we want to announce it on our terms. And I think that's what's happening. Who knows what is going on in the background? The Aztecs still might want to leave by 2024. Perhaps they're negotiating. Everything can be negotiated, right? Exit fees can be negotiated. So perhaps that's what's happening. But we can't claim to know because we don't know, right?
And most important, it may be at a point where they are getting advice, both sides, from lawyers who are basically informing them and advising them to not say anything else publicly for the time being.
Right. And I would believe that's probably happening. Again, I think they don't want things blowing up again. And I think they're trying to control the message this time. I think they want to control it better than they did last time.
Right. In the meantime, we asked people on the internet and via a Twitter poll, a brilliant Twitter poll, arrived at by Noble Aztecs All In co-host Louis Weiner, and a brainstorm. It asked the masses how they thought the process would all play out.
That's right. On Twitter, the Aztecs All In Twitter page. You should follow us at Aztecs_all_in, Aztecs All In. The question was, the Mountain West Executive Committee meets Monday about Go Aztecs' future in the conference following the controversial letter exchange, what's the most likely outcome? 7% said that San Diego State would stay permanently in the Mountain West. 46% said San Diego State would leave as of next year, 2024. 43% said San Diego State would leave in 2025. And 4% actually believes that San Diego State goes independent. Now, I want to say this is an unscientific Twitter poll, so the only people who participated were those who saw the poll. Again, unscientific, but it is enough information from the 167 people who voted to get a sense of what people think. And the majority believe San Diego State will leave the Mountain West Conference a year from now.
So 160 votes, Louis. That's an impressive tally. That means we here at Aztecs All In get $1 for every vote?
We do not, Steve.
A quarter?
Who told you that? Who told
a dime?
You that is not true.
A penny?
We get not a zilch, but we get the honor of knowing that that people are following Aztecs All In and they care about what we do and what we're doing. We actually had 714 views on that tweet, and 167 people voted. So for those of you who voted, thank you very much. And we'll continue to do that sort of polling type thing so we could sort of, keep you guys involved with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Terrific. And we always, too, get the good feeling of a job well done, which gives us those warm fuzzies all over the place. Moving on now to the annual football media days in Las Vegas that the Mountain West Conference organizes. That is going off this week. The media gets together with coaches and players. The broadcast networks carrying the games, they get a chance to get some cover shots and meet with the players, the coaches. The media votes on who they believe will win the conference each year, and every once in a while they get it right. There's local radio and print, get some one-on-one time with select players, the head coaches, and the commissioner of the conference gives a state of the conference, Gloria Nevarez, and starts the whole thing off midweek, Wednesday. And as the UT's Mark Ziegler noted in the San Diego Daily, the silence that's going on between the SDSU side and the Mountain West side figures to end for sure during that scheduled talk that Commissioner Nevarez will be giving at the Circa Resort in Vegas. And then he notes that Brady Hoke, the Aztecs head coach, is slotted to talk on Thursday, and he notes that's the first time someone from San Diego State may be taking questions about the situation in more than a month. And also appearing as two players, Mark Redmond, senior tight end, Sadarius Barfield, the senior safety, and hopefully at some point, with any luck, they will get a chance to talk football as opposed to the process.
Football. It would be nice to talk about football. And you're right, Gloria Nevarez is going to have to say something about what happened this week. Just like we're waiting on the Pac-12 Media Day, which is this week, where we're waiting for a media rights deal and then perhaps expansion. And who knows when that will come. So Media Day, college football coming up. And we're not just talking about football, we're talking about media rights. It's all so bizarre.
Yes, on Friday, the Pac-12 commissioner will be talking to the Pac-12 media at Resorts World Las Vegas. So stay tuned. Not so sure that isn't the point of some of this, just keeping people's attention during a time when most folks are typically taking a summer break. But with any luck, the situation will be advanced. Now we turn, Louis, to changes in the Aztecs baseball program.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker here. I don't think anybody really saw this coming. San Diego State baseball coach Mark Martinez retired last week in a surprising announcement that caught a lot of us off guard. He'd been with the program since 2006. He left New Mexico to join SDSU as an assistant coach, and he was named the head coach in 2014 following the death of Tony Gwynn. So he had a pretty good record, 257 and 217. That's a .542 percentage. In 9 seasons, he won a Mountain West Conference Tournament championships in 2015, 2017, and 2018. The Aztecs also won the Mountain West regular season title this year, going 18 and 11 in conference, but under 500, 24 and 29 overall. And he ranks 7th in Mountain West history In overall victories, 257, and conference wins 134. So there's a lot of speculation as to what happened here. And there were a few players who left the program, went into the transfer portal, and perhaps that had something to do with it. What do you think?
Just judging by the reporting from the Union Tribune's Kirk Kenny, he noted that the son of Coach Martinez logged a lot of hours on the field and at bat as a freshman, which is kind of unusual, with a less than stellar batting average. And so that may have played into some of the players' concerns about potential favoritism. They did not address that question in the article. I'm believing that Mr. Martinez is looking forward to spending more time with his family, which he obviously loves.
Well, we wish him the best of luck. He was a great Aztec, a Aztec for life, and somebody who will be remembered as a great part of the Aztec baseball program. There have not been a lot of coaches in Aztec baseball. Jim Dietz was there for decades, and then Tony Gwynn for a long time, and then Mark Martinez. So there has not been a lot of turnover so this is interesting hire for San Diego State. Where do they go, and what do they look for here?
Yeah, I don't know. I believe, though, Kirk noted there have been like 5 total Aztec coaches in the Aztec baseball history. So that's, longevity in college, anything athletics is I think it's good for programs if they can establish that longevity and be known for someone, for a university where you're not going to get a different head coach every couple of years based on something that happens in performance, and they can look long term. Hopefully, whoever they bring in as the replacement will, continue on in that fashion.
And this news came just days after there was some exciting news for the San Diego State baseball program. Cole Carrig, who we discussed in last week's episode, he went to the Colorado Rockies in the second round of Major League Baseball draft. And a couple of days later, 2 other San Diego State players were drafted. San Diego State pitchers TJ Fontaine and Kalina Sauer were taken on the final day of the draft, giving the Aztecs 3 picks overall and 31 selections since 2015. Fontaine was chosen by the Tampa Bay Rays in the 14th round. That was the 423rd overall pick, while Sauer was taken by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 15th round. That was the 454th overall. And with their selections, Fontaine and Sauer now give the Aztecs 227 Major League Baseball draft picks since 1965. So that's pretty impressive.
That's a program for sure. Now, speaking of another sport in the Aztecs athletics department that's been making noise is the golf program. And a product of that is Xander Schauffele. And it's the very last chance for glory for those in the professional golf field to win a major. It's the Open. It's every blessed time anyone in my close proximity deals with a Brit from the old sod.
The Open.
It's meant a couple of extra shekels when time comes to settle the bill if you say it in that English accent. This year's at Royal Liverpool, $9 million purse. What? Not payable in pounds?
I will not try the accent. That will not sound good.
Well, then try the Hassenpfeffer. Or try saying this. Hello. Fa-fa, 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 fa-fa. Anyways, last year, Xander won the Scottish Open going into the Open. It's at Royal St. Andrews this year. And he finished last year at Royal St. Andrews, the old course, in a multiple player tie for 15th. This year, he is a popular bet to at least finish in the top 10. Rory McIlroy, who did a nice job closing out the Scottish Open down the stretch Sunday, is the gambler's choice to win the Open this year. You dig into those minuscule odds of winning once you get down from Rory, around 6-1 or so. Just shows how difficult it is to come out on top in a major. A bunch of players vying for the same title. 156 of the best players in the world in this one. Schauffele won that Scottish Open in 2022. He defended this year by finishing tied for 42nd. I was looking at a site called VegasInsider.com, which takes a composite of sports wagering sites and put them at the 10th most likely to win according to wagers and the odds. FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, Points, Bet, DraftKings. X had a decent chance at the U.S. Open going to day 4 in L.A. Majors are what fires up the top golfers' competitive juices, and X is among them. So, links golf on the Isles. What, Lewis? Any thoughts?
Well, Xander, some say that Xander is the best golfer to never win a major at this point in his career. 29 years old. He's finished top 18 or better in 8 of his last 10 majors, but has not found a way to finish on top. With 9 top 10s this season, he's someone you want to watch this week, right? Maybe this is where he breaks through. What do you think?
Well, he's also due for a win. Last year he won 3, and he hasn't gone for a very long time without winning something. So, but again, 156 of the best players in the world on a strange links golf course where anything can happen. That's golf. And there's also a former Aztec, J.J. Spawn, who qualified, and he's somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 1 odds to win it, if I'm reading it right. But we wish them both well.
Absolutely. We wish them well. We'll always root on the Aztecs in the British Open. The Open Championship.
The Open. It's the Open. Anyways, one more thing about the Open and the majors. There's a Perez majors watch here. It's Victor Perez. Victor Perez is competing in the Open.
Yeah, there are no wieners in the Open this week. I'd be rooting for them.
But wait a minute. Wait. His name is Victor Perez, and he's what? He's a Frenchman? All right, moving on. All right. So in a recent episode, we had the pleasure of sitting down with Aztecs Hall of Fame member J.R. Tolver. The subject, AztecLink. The question, what is NIL? That's short for name, image, and likeness, otherwise known now as a legally sanctioned way for college athletes to pick up some extra bucks for their efforts on the field. Game's changing. Aztecs are opting to change with it in order to compete with the rest of the pack. So we asked J.R. Tolver, what could folks do if they really wanted to help in this effort?
I would say the first thing is become a subscriber. Go to AztecLink.com. Again, we have those 3 different packages ranging from $22 a month to $150 a month. Each package gets a little bit of a different transfer of value, if you will. But the most important thing, I think, is to get your resources involved, knowing that that's going to be one of the driving things to make San Diego State football and hopefully San Diego State University. Our goal as a collective is to be able to start accepting all students of the university over time. We're starting from football because from a business standpoint, we want to get really good at one thing before we expand to multiple things. But it starts with just the knowing that this is going to take resources, financial resources to do. And we would love for fans to jump in, at $22 a month, $57 a month, $140 a month, and just help us get the resources needed to pull this thing together. And the other thing I was going to say is it starts with, I think, money with the resources. But I tell all the people that I work with, yes, I'm after your checkbook. I am. But I'm also after your phone book. So once you understand it, each one teach one, go grab a few other Aztec fans, explain it to them, and let's see if we can get them on board and create a little bit of a snowball effect.
So there it is for starters, Lewis, the answer to many issues in these United States. As local underwater photographic housing maker Elwyn Gates used to say, we can do that. Just add money.
Money.
Mm-hmm.
Money.
Mm-hmm. So I came out of that piece at the time saying I had my homework cut out for me, and now it's time to grade my effort. What do I give myself on the follow-up to that, Lewis?
What do you give? What grade? An A plus, right?
Well, I don't know. At this point, here's what I grade myself out as. Just Dean Wormer once said to one Bluto Blutarski, 0.0, because I've been putting off that visits to AztecLink.com and signing up for the for at least something. So with your permission and indulgence, and maybe you can kind of do a little tap dance while I'm doing this, I'm going to AztecLink.com, and I am going to find the spot on this website. We're doing this all live. There's not editing. I'm going to click the button that says contribute as a fan. And we're going to see to the page that says AztecLink Insiders. We're going to start small. It's inflation. And I'm going to go for $22 a month, okay? $22
Good for you.
A paltry sum. And now I'm just going to wait for it to load. And maybe while I am doing this, waiting to do this, and to kick myself and put myself all in on the Aztecs, you can say so long to the Aztec listeners out there and read us out, Louis.
Please do your part. I also plan on donating to AztecLink. I have not done that, but we hope all of you will do that. NIL is really important, as JR said in the episode a few weeks back. It's a game changer, and if San Diego State wants to compete, especially if it moves towards a Power 5, NIL will play a major part. That's all the time we have this week.
Should I read off my credit card information to everybody while I'm doing this? And wait, probably not. Sorry to interrupt.
Probably not. No. Well, you could tell me after
Yeah. We'll keep it that's right.
Yes. Thanks for listening to this week's edition of Aztecs All In. Please follow or subscribe anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter at Aztecs All In. And if you would like to contact us, just send an email to aztecsallin@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Louis Weiner for Steve Perez. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Hey, wait, what's this coupon code? I could have saved something.